What is up, heroes? Welcome to a podcast episode. We are doing a Q&A session that I'm really excited about. I'm excited to explore this type of content where I answer your questions live. Right now, we're taking questions from Instagram Live. So if you do not follow me on Instagram, make sure to check me out over there. It's athletic_assault. But we're going to take some questions live, but also I have a couple questions that over the course of a few weeks I've been asked similar questions to this, and so I wanted to answer them on the podcast, and I'm really excited to do this. I'm videotaping it, I'm doing a live stream, and I'm recording the audio, so I think it's going to be a ton of fun. I'm really glad you guys are hanging out with me today, this morning, whenever you're listening to this. A couple things. I did want to say that I am working on a Discord server for you guys so that you can actually ask me questions live. So you'll be able to jump in that Discord and I'll take questions from you guys live, and I'm really excited about that. But for the time being, we're going to do live Q&A on Instagram. But first, without further ado, let's do the first two questions that I have. And the first one is, hey, it's the off season of whatever sport I'm playing, whether it's football or basketball. How can I really take advantage of this off season? So for most people, it's the summertime. They're taking a break from sports, and it's time to hit the gym, hit the weights, start really refining their craft. And so people are wondering, how do I take advantage of this? And I actually got this. One of my guys in our youth group wants me to train him this summer, and I'm really excited about doing it because he has a specific goal in mind. He's thinking about football, and so it's really exciting for me to get to explore that with him. And so I wanted to answer this question for you guys on the podcast. And so first take is that you guys have a lot more time this summer. When you're out of school and you have a couple months off, you have a lot more time. And so really take this time seriously. Now, am I saying you need to work out 24/7, you need to be in the gym, you need to be throwing, you need to be running, you need to be sprinting? No, you need to enjoy your summer, have some fun, hang out with your friends, but put in the work this summer. You know, take a couple hours out of your day to go to the gym and shoot hoops. Take a couple hours out of your day to go to the gym and lift weights, and really put in that effort, because the last thing you want to do is when season comes for you not to be ready. And so you really want to spend some time this summer while partially some of your peeps that you're going to be competing with this year are going to be lazy. So this is your time to get ahead. This is your time while other people are sleeping for you to put in the work and actually make improvements. If you're playing basketball, like going to the gym and shooting 1,000 shots a day is a good goal to have, and that's something that you should try to shoot for. That's clever because we're talking about basketball, but that's something you should try to shoot for this summer. But also working on your explosiveness. You know, if you're playing football and you're a wide receiver, you want to be more explosive. You want to be quicker. You want to be able to jump higher. Work on your explosiveness. Hit the gym. Really focus your time on weight training and increasing your strength. And that means focusing on technique first and then making your move into more and more strength. So say you're doing 100 pounds in squats, really honing in that technique and then moving up in weight to 110, then 120, then 140, and really progressively going up in your weight. And that's going to help you be more explosive, but then also doing plyometrics on top of that, meaning jump training, like doing box jumps or jump rope or broad jumps. That's going to help you be more explosive. And you really want to take advantage of this season. Yes, you're going to have some practices this summer, and that's going to be great for coming together as a team, but you as an individual need to take time this summer to actually put in the effort and put in the work so that you can come away from the summer stronger than what you were. The last thing you want to do is feel like you didn't improve from last year. That's not what you want to do. You want to make sure that you're improving year after year. And so really, really focus on adding strength, adding technique, and really focus on the gym this summer. You know, for a lot of you, you've only lifted weights with your team, and that's great, but oftentimes with high school teams, they don't have the best strength and conditioning coach. A lot of times it's just their coach. They don't have a strength and conditioning coach at all. It's just their coach making up a plan, and that can be detrimental to the team because it's not an actual focused plan for you. And so really lean into your weight training this year. And a shameless plug for this, me and my brother just put together a 12-week free workout plan for the summer. I mean, we released it right as summer rolled around, and we wanted to make it for that so that you had the whole summer to really focus on progressive overload, and that's what it's all about. Progressive overload is when you're slowly adding more and more weight to the bar and you're increasing your strength. And so that is what you really, really need to focus on, and I would really love for you to join that. And if you haven't joined that, I'll put it in the show notes or in the description below. But guys, that is what you want to lean into. You want to put in the work. You know, this is the time. The summer is the time that you get ahead of your peers and your opponents. This is the time that you can make extra effort and really see some major progress this summer. I remember one summer I worked out twice a day. I was stronger than I've ever been, quicker than I've ever been, but it's because I put in the work. So you need to put in the work. A question from the Instagram Live real quick. They said, let's see who said it. It wasn't me. Said, did you ever play any sports? Yes, I played basketball, and then basketball was my main sport all through high school. I played it, and then I played soccer senior year, and I played football a couple of times. I played it in 7th grade, and then I played it for a summer, and I said, yeah, I'm going to go back to basketball. So those were the sports I played. I absolutely adore sports. Athletic Assault actually started out as a basketball training company. If you go back to my first video on YouTube, it was how to shoot like Steph Curry. And I actually was working out with a local basketball team in the town that I live in. I was training with them multiple times a week to really learn how to coach. I was making videos for that. And then I also did some basketball camps early on in Athletic Assault. It wasn't until last year that I really transitioned to more superhero fitness, more overall fitness. And so, yeah, I love sports. I love taking questions like that, and I wanted to do that question for that reason, because I think a lot of you play some kind of sport, whether it's soccer or basketball or football, or even baseball or lacrosse. You know, I wanted to make sure to touch on that because working out is a big part of those sports, and making sure that you're building strength and explosiveness is going to be a key for your next year's season. So let's take another question from Instagram Live. It's Amar the Dalthil. I probably butchered that name. Said, what exercise should I do at home to jump higher? So this is a great question. He says, what exercise should I do at home to jump higher? The key to that is at home. So originally, I would suggest, doing back squats or any variation of squats, whether it's front squats. But if you're at home, you're gonna be limited to body weight squats, or you can do goblet squats, which is with a dumbbell. And I have a video up on YouTube about goblet squatting. But it's with a dumbbell on your chest, front loaded, and that's going to help you build strength throughout your legs. But also you can do single leg RDLs, which will strengthen your balance and hamstrings. But then any plyometric workout, so burpees, box jumps, broad jumps, squat jumps. So adding that extra twist to a squat can really help build your explosiveness, because the key to jumping higher is building explosiveness. Jump roping every day is a great way to increase your vertical max. So great question. Thank you so much for that. So next question I wanted to answer is, hey, I want to get started. This is kind of a little off topic, but I want this podcast to be anything and everything to help you guys attack your dreams. And so I wanted to take this question about, because I've been asked, hey, how do you grow an Instagram channel? How do you grow on YouTube? And I'm not that big on YouTube yet, but how do you produce content that actually grows? And the first thing I want to say in this is, just get started. Like, if you're new to content creation and you have a dream of, hey, I want to produce content someday, like, just start producing content. Like, I literally last January, I just said, hey, I want to inspire people to work out and inspire people to attack their dreams, and inspire men and women to be people of character. And I want to use superhero fitness to do that. And so I started a YouTube channel. Literally, I released my first video of like the consistent videos on February 3rd last year. And that was the start of just making content. I shot it on my iPhone. I had, I think, a lapel mic from my work that I used, and it was horrible audio, horrible fluctuation of my voice. I was watching it back earlier this week, actually, and I just was so monotone. I was like, what's up, heroes? Thank you for checking out this channel. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I was so monotone in my video, but that was the start of doing content creation, and that's what you guys need to do. If you have a goal, like say you want to start a gaming channel, you want to be a awesome Twitch streamer, like you have to start doing it. Like just go now, like start streaming, start producing content. Say you want to do content around cats, like start making videos about cats. And for as far as Instagram goes, how do you grow an Instagram channel? It's by getting involved in the community. One of the biggest things for me growing was collaborating with other Instagrammers who were about the same size as me. So I had the awesome privilege to work with some incredible people and make a post together or repost each other when we had similar audiences. So I would, contact somebody who made memes for superhero content. And so it was a little bit different. I was making superhero workouts, he was making memes, and we would just collaborate and share each other's work. And so that was a great way for us to have access to each other's audiences. And so that was a great way for us to grow together. Another way is just engaging in other people's content. If you go into communities, one thing I'm doing now, I didn't do this as much as I should have as I was starting out, but going into other people's communities, people that have much larger audiences than you, and going into their communities and engaging with the people that are engaging with their content. So not so much the creator, but instead the people that are commenting on that creator's work. And so responding to them and talking with them, that has been a huge thing over the last few weeks for me. Growing is interacting and getting way more in depth and involved in the community. Other ways that you can do that is just by sharing people's posts that you really enjoy or shouting them out on your stories. That's going to give you some leverage. Another way, my favorite way to grow your Instagram is by engaging in your community. If you've ever DM'd me, I answer every single DM. And obviously I'm at a size right now where I can I can answer every DM. You know, I'm not getting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds a day. But I answer every DM because I want my community to know that I care so much about them, that if they're going to give me attention, then I want to give them value. And hopefully the reason they followed me is that they think I gave them value in some form. And so I want to continue to give them value. So you definitely need to engage with your community. Also, not only in the DMs, but I remember one of the first posts, I decided early on that I was going to respond to every single comment that came onto my pictures. And I remember one of the first times I had a post that got over 150 comments, and I responded to every single one of them. And that's not to brag on me, but it's to say that if you want to grow on Instagram or any social network, you have to engage your community. You have to show them, hey, I care about you. I care that, like, I'm so grateful that you gave me your attention, and I really, really care about that. And helping them figure out issues that they have. You know, for me, it's a lot of fitness content, but even content creation, I love to help with. One of the guys that I collaborated with a lot, Isaiah, he messaged me in November, not just on his personal account, was like, hey, how did you start this? How do you do this? And he actually started his own superhero fitness page and grew it to over 13,000 followers. From the help that, you know, from teaming up and collaborating. And so I love helping my audience, because I told you guys, I'm committed to helping you attack your dreams. And so that's important to me. It's important to you if you want to grow a community online, that you have to help them. You have to be attentive to them, and you have to answer them. You know, when they ask you stuff, don't get too fancy to answer them. You know, there's a popular streamer that I've been following lately called Professor Broman. You've probably seen him. My voice just cracked. You know, he engages, he answers all of his DMs. He's much bigger than me, and he answers every single one of his DMs. He actually does. He's one of the proponents that inspired me to do a live Q&A podcast, because he's engaging with his community. He has over 1 million people following him across YouTube and Twitch and Instagram and Facebook, and he engages with them. He's a community manager at heart. And so you need to be a community manager if you want to grow online. So that's my 2 cents about content creation. Let's take another question from Instagram Live. AJ Canceller, one of the guys that has been waiting to be on the podcast and waiting to be in the live stream, actually. So I'm pumped to take your question, AJ. Thank you so much for all your DMs, dude. I love you. You're the man. He says, what do you mean by explosiveness? Let me take a drink real quick. So what I mean, AJ, by explosiveness is meaning that fast twitch muscle. So meaning that you're able to, it's speed and power combined. Let me explain it that way. It's speed and power combined. That's explosiveness. So if you're explosive, that means that you're able to get up to speed very, very quickly. And you have the power to push through. So say you're an offensive lineman. Your explosiveness is able to get off the line when the ball is hiked and push the other guy back. That's explosiveness. If you're a basketball player, explosiveness is able to jump for the rebound. If it gets tipped, you're able to land and go right back up. That is explosiveness. You are able to jump high with a lot of speed, but also explosiveness is being able to sprint very quick right off the gate. If you're a wide receiver, when the ball is hiked, you're able to get up to speed quicker than everybody else. That's explosiveness, AJ. Thank you so much for your question, man. What can I do? Life WEJB says, what can I do at home to build muscle? That is a great question. That is a fantastic question, Life WEJB. You can do a lot of things at home. So the way that you build muscle is through progressive overload. And so what a lot of people hear that, they think, okay, I have to add more weight, but actually it's adding more resistance. So there is a ton of body weight workouts that are strength workouts, like a push-up or a pull-up. Those are all things you can do at home, or even a squat. Those are all things you can do at home that are strength movements. And so to actually increase muscle at home is to change the variation up. Meaning, so if you're doing push-ups, you can do more reps of push-ups, and that's going to add more resistance to it. It's going to make it harder and force your muscles to grow. But also you can change the variation of the push-up. So instead of doing a regular push-up, you can do an incline push-up or do a plyo push-up. That is going to help your muscles grow because it's gonna shift the resistance around. So you can definitely build muscle at home. It's just making sure that you're still following the principle of progressive overload. It just looks a little different. You're not adding any more weight. My voice is cracking. You're not adding any more weight. You're just changing the variation of the exercise. So the reason I like changing the variation of the exercise more than adding more reps is there at some point you're going to hit a max point where doing 300 push-ups a day takes a lot of time, especially if you're doing other exercises. If you're doing pull-ups and squats, that takes a lot of time. But changing the variation up, you can do similar amounts of reps. You're always going to have to kind of increase those reps and change the variation to mix and match, but that's going to help you build muscle online. Thank you for that question, Life WEJB. I really appreciate it. Noah McCall, what up, brother? Love you. So another question from Amar says, do taking 40 push-ups at one take affect the mass gain negatively? No, it does not. Doing 40 push-ups at one time is not going to affect your mass gain. It's now really, again, think about progressive overload. So your mass gain is going to come from diet. So overall, 40 push-ups is not going to affect your mass gain except for the fact that you're going to burn a few more calories. And if you're not eating enough, then you're not going to gain the weight, because gaining mass is all about calorie surplus. So it's eating more calories than you burn. But no, doing 40 push-ups is not going to affect that negatively. If you're eating enough, it can actually affect it positively, because that could be progressive overload. Because what if you did 35 last week and now you're doing 40? That's progressive overload, just like what we talked about just a second ago. AJ talking up Amar. Let me see if I have any other questions. So AJ is asking what my highest bench max is. I will go ahead and say this. I have not done a barbell bench press in probably a couple months. I've been doing a lot of dumbbell incline press. So my max is a little skewed. At my top max, it was only about 225. And I say only because I should have kept moving in that. I fell off of working out right after I hit that, which is a sad reality, because 225 was awesome for me. Long arms, never lifted that much in my life. And then in college, I got up to that and I was squatting a lot. I was doing really well. And then I fell off of that. So 225 is really where I land on bench press. AJ says, could explosiveness also be reflexes? People say I'm a good defender when I play basketball. So yeah, AJ, that's exactly right. Some of it is genetic. It's just like in fitness. I have a different body type than other people have. I'm very lean, very skinny. I'm trying to put on muscle, trying to put on weight, where other people are trying to lose fat and lose weight so that they can lean up. And so it's genetics. Some of it does play into that. Of some people are just naturally quicker than other people, but you can most definitely work on your explosiveness, work on your speed by doing plyometric work, by squatting, by deadlifting, by doing sled pushes. That's going to help because what you want to do is increase your power and then apply that power. So hit the gym, squat, deadlift, sled push, and then apply that power by doing plyometric work, by doing jump ropes, box jumps, anything like that. That is going to help you increase explosiveness. And obviously you said you're a good defender in basketball, so you're already on your way to being more explosive. So that's super exciting, AJ. Let me know. So David DR18 says, let me know if this is a good routine and what it works for. 10 minutes on the treadmill, 3 sets of bench press, 3 sets of curl ups, 3 sets of something I pull down to my chest while sitting, then 1 hour of ball. So David, that is a great activity. That is going to get your heart rate up. It is going to increase your cardiovascular health. As for overall strength building and muscle building, it's not the best because you're not hitting a lot of the major muscle groups. You're not hitting shoulders. I guess you're hitting a little bit in your bench press, but you're not hitting major lifts like squats and deadlifts. And so that I would encourage you to mix it up. You can keep the 10 minutes on the treadmill, keep the 1 hour of basketball after, but mix it up and do some extra lifts in there where you're at, doing, instead of bench pressing one day, do squats that day. Or instead of doing the pull down, you could do some pull ups, and so really just try to mix it up and see if that will help you out, David. But anyways, that is a great cardiovascular workout. It's definitely going to get your heart rate up, and those have their place for sure. But if you're trying to build strength, trying to build muscle, you definitely want to increase your strength, increase the weight on that bar, or like we talked about earlier, change the variation up or increase your reps. So guys, that is all the questions I am seeing, all the questions I have. So we will wrap it up there. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the podcast. I'm super excited to do this. I can't wait to do it on Discord where I can actually talk one-on-one with some of you guys. So be on the lookout for that Discord server whenever I post it, so that you can join that and ask me literally anything, because we're going to be doing more Q&A sessions. I want to do a couple a week because they're just so easy to just sit down and do these. So I'm really excited about this podcast. I love the idea of getting to interact with you guys on voice, where you guys can listen to me while you're working out or while you're commuting. And I just feel honored that you are listening to me while you're doing that. It's such a blessing, and I so appreciate your time and your attention. So guys, let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer them. You can DM me. Again, like I said earlier, I answer all my DMs, and I'm happy to answer yours if you have any questions. So make sure to DM me if you have any questions about content creation or superhero fitness stuff, or if you just want to ask me who my favorite Avenger is. I'm happy to answer that in the DMs. Heroes, that is it for this podcast, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Later, heroes.